Hello everyone, welcome back to Microsoft Intune training. In this session, we will see the configuration for compliance policy regarding anti-spyware. We will be creating multiple compliance policies that we will be creating for the autopilot deployment profile that we have created in the previous lecture. And we will create a package of a deployment profile which will include compliance policies, configuration profiles, applications, and different PowerShell scripts. And then we will test it on a device to show you how autopilot is run on a device. So what is compliance policy, right? Compliance policy is basically any policy that is created by the organization in order to make the devices compliant, which meets the specific requirements. Compliance can be location-based compliance. Compliance can be user-based compliance. So similarly, there are multiple ways that you can create a policy which will become your security requirement for the devices to be compliant. So right now, in this lecture, we will be creating a compliance policy which is anti-spyware. Anti-spyware basically ensures that devices have up-to-date anti-spyware protection. It helps maintain security and compliance by preventing anti-spyware threat. It protects managed devices from any vulnerabilities, and anti-spyware gives you real-time protection, up-to-date definition. Anti-spyware also ensures that Microsoft Defender is installed and active on the device. And in order to configure anti-spyware and create a compliance policy for anti-spyware, we will go to our Intune portal and I'll show you how to create the compliance policy for anti-spyware. So let's go to Intune portal, and as you can see, we are on the Intune portal right now. Let's go to home page. We will always start from the home page and devices, Windows, and let's go to compliance. Right now we don't have any compliance policy because we have not created any compliance policy as of now. So we have reached at a stage where we have started to work on compliance policy. I will be showing you how to create a compliance policy which is anti-spyware. So let's click on create policy and let's select Windows 10 and later, create, and let's give it a name, anti-spyware policy. Let's give it a description. So description can be anything. General description would be checks for the device if anti-spyware is present to make it a compliant device. All right, and first letter should be capital. All right. So let's click on next. All right, so we have multiple settings here. You can simply do the configuration according to your requirement or your company's requirement. I am not going to show you each and every settings that we have here. I will show you 2 or 3 compliance policies before we move ahead to configuration profiles. In this lecture, I am focusing on anti-spyware. So for anti-spyware, we will go to system security, and under system security, we have device security, and then we have anti-spyware. If you hover over this button, it actually explains what this setting does. Require any anti-spyware solution registered with Windows Security Center to be on and monitoring. Example, DigiCert or Microsoft Defender, right? So we will click on require because that is our requirement. It will check for the Microsoft Defender on the device, and if it is not available, then it will make the device non-compliant for use. And that is very important in order to determine the device have security measure in place like Microsoft Defender. You can click on next now, and we will skip this. Next, and let's assign this to the same group that we created, dynamic group with group tag, and next, create and create. So as you can see, anti-spyware policy has been created successfully. Let's go to properties, and you can see mark device non-compliant immediately. So actions for non-compliance is something that I'll show you in the next lecture. What action do you want, right? So for this, we will have to create a template that will either send an email to the IT team that this device is not compliant. So right now I'm only focusing on creating the anti-spyware, but in one of the lectures I will show you the actions for non-compliance as well, and what is the use of actions for non-compliance. Right now I will skip this part, and if you can see, I have assigned to dynamic group with group tag. So this is created successfully in this lecture, and I'll see you guys in the next lecture. We will create another compliance policy in the next lecture. Thank you.